Tuesday. Tuesday is the day ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of war and the warrior. And if you remember me talking about this last week, I have had many conversations with Mars as Venus, teaching him that he is a much more effective warrior if he first goes through his heart. Good morning, beautiful. So today being a Mars day, what I really want you to feel into for yourself is feel into the energy of Mars. That's that fiery warrior war energy. So if you woke up like cranky or ready to like cut a bitch, really bring that energy into the heart. So from that solar plexus fire, that rage, bring it through the heart and allow the divine masculine to speak for you instead of the toxic masculine that's within you to speak for you. And to say, this is not okay. This is what we're doing now. This is how we're going to handle this. And really defend your divine feminine in that way. And what's interesting is that I've been putting these intentions before I sleep, and then I always wake early and go back to sleep. This is the dream time that Spirit speaks to me. And so I've really been setting the intention, a higher intention, so that they can be crystallized in my spirit, but also as me as source, so that it can create this work for the collective consciousness. So I've been really moving through this energy. And so last night I said, what do I really desire? What do I really desire? I mean, there are many desires in the human experience, right? Like I said, I'm choosing only pleasurable lessons or the lessons that don't thrash me, right? But really what I want, what my real choosing is unity consciousness. Because in unity consciousness, we all get love. We all get abundance. There is no one left without the gift of grace. And so what that means is that in the human experience, there's no hierarchy. Now in spirit, there will always be a hierarchy. Please know that. I know my rank in spirit. And I've said this before because this is going to show up in the spread. You're going to see, like, watch how you handle me, because I am one of God's favored children. So this is what we have to move into and choose for ourselves. What is our real desire? What is our real intention? And is it self-serving or is it divinely serving? All. So the color to connect with Mars is red, but I wore a muted color and also yellow. Because I am teaching Mars how to be a more loving warrior, how to not be willy-nilly with his anger, because he is the ruler of Aries, right? And Aries is the baby. Aries is the impulsive child that's like, doesn't get his way, so he has a temper tantrum, thrashes and fights, and then he's like, okay, I'm done. Well, I am being the nurturing mother, but also the loving Venus, and saying, this is not what we're doing anymore, Mars. It's time for you to mature a little bit. Take that rage into your heart and stop being a spoiled ass brat. Ta-da! Right, like Loki. Or, you know, like the Kali energy, she is very discerning. She is loving. And it was, the story goes is that she, you know, she will sever heads. That's why she wears a necklace of skulls. But they had to summon Shiva because she was just chopping the heads off of males because they were being weak. They were not being divine servants. And so they summoned Shiva to pacify her. And he turned himself into a crying baby. And that's what pacified her, because she said, oh my God, I need to nurture him. And so it softened her. And so there's that aspect in all of us as women, but men are dropping the ball. The masculine energy in the human experience is really dropping the ball. And they are taking the easy road. They're being, and I know I have men on here, thank you, Kyle, if you're still here, that the energy that's happening in masculine right now is really a call to action. And so are you going to face that call to action with fear and then choose the easy route, the pretty shiny thing, the fool's gold, the woman that has no substance, because you don't want to be held accountable, because you don't want to continue to evolve, because it's too much work? Hi, Kyle. I miss your face, Kyle. What did you see? Are you seeing my smoke? I do have an incense burning. What did you see, Samantha? Anyhow, the Ascended Masters, and remember there's 3 layers of cards that I draw every day. The first layer is my guides for the day. Who is my dream team? Who's my support system for the day? And yeah, and so I didn't notice that because I'm trying to look into the camera, and then when I see it do this, I look down to see if someone said something. So that's cool. I'm glad you caught that. So Paul the Venetian showed up for me. And like I said yesterday, I always realize when I'm moving through a spiritual growth spur or leveling up when new cards show up in my pull. And I've had this deck for a really long time, and I maybe pulled him, I could probably count on one hand the number of times I've pulled him in the years, literally years that I've had this deck. And so the message of Paul the Venetian is that I will be the recipient of grace. And I right away humbled myself and said, thank you. I am, close eyes, open hand, I am ready to receive grace. So he says, you miss me too, Kyle. Thank you. Trying to decide on yoga teacher training or ayahuasca. I hope if you're going to do ayahuasca, do it right and go with a real shaman, not like these fake spiritual people that believe they can facilitate ceremony. Find someone legit. That's all I would recommend. And I love you, Kyle. So it says share your gifts with grace. And I love this. So what it was saying is that you may be feeling uninspired, which is true. I've been feeling very uninspired because if you see the other cards, it's telling me to write. But, and I have like, literally when things come to me, I scribble them on paper, like thoughts and meditation or even one-liners. And I'm like, this, I'm going to turn into something phenomenal. And I haven't been inspired to do it. So this is saying you will receive the inspiration that you need to teach those who need to be ushered. So basically saying you are the way shower and you're receiving the grace as that right now. So thank you, Paul. And Haniel showed up again. So the incense that I'm actually burning today is a Haniel incense to connect with her energy. Remember, she is the archangel of cycles, not only emotional cycles, but the moon cycles of release and receive and integration. So I'm connecting with her today. And King Solomon showed up. He showed up yesterday. And this is beautiful because Lisa had said yesterday, she goes, I imagine because of the conversations that we've been having, he's going to be showing up a lot now. And if you could see how I shuffle the decks, holy shit. Like, what are the odds that the same card is going to show up days in a row? Like, literally, I mush the whole deck and then I shuffle. And for the same card to show up days in a row, it's mind-blowing. So I am very connected to the deck. The deck is an extension of me. When you use Oracle and you are an Oracle, the divine energy that pours through becomes an extension of you. And so that my decks are very accurate in their messages to me, and you can do that as well, but you have to connect with each card when you receive the deck. I usually charge the deck first, cleanse it, charge it on my altar, and then I connect with every card with my heart. I read the card, hold it to my heart, and put my holy breath into each card, and that's how I connect with the deck. So the second layer of pulls, what did Kyle say? Yeah, there's a lot of con men. Yes, I was looking at a resort in Costa Rica. Nice. So Costa Rica, Peru, you can probably easily find someone to facilitate. So the second layer, remember, is my inner circle, my intimate circle, my friends, relationships, family. And so the apprehension card, moving past fear. And this is what I talked about yesterday. Are you experiencing a questioning of your loyalty, or is this attachment, right? And don't get the two twisted. So when you are in an equal exchanging relationship, loyalty is basic level requirement. If there is a relationship that is not in exchange, then attachment is what keeps you there. That's trauma bonding. That's codependency. So really be aware of that. Are you loyal or are you attached? And those are the markers. Do you feel obligated to this person? And what's the obligation? Do you actually reap equal exchange in this relationship? Is there parallel growth? Are you both growing, or are they actually dead weight and you're seeking some kind of validation through them, like my love will heal this person? That's codependency. Or they need me, so I have value. No, fuck all that. What do I need to release? That's exactly what I'm moving through. Really questioning, is this loyalty or attachment to certain energies? And do I really owe them anything? No. Do they owe me? Of course not. So really feeling into those energies. So the baby steps. And I like this because the baby steps talks about when you receive the breadcrumbs of spirit, right? The synchronicity, take those steps. So many people are like, okay, show me the end result and then I'll take a step. Show me what the main goal is and then I'll move forward. But really the point is that when spirit says, hey, come here, you go. You go when you're called, and you don't wait to be shown the whole picture. You just go. You allow yourself. Perfect example, when I was visiting Diana in Central Coast, and Spirit's like, hey, come up here. And her and I went up there. I followed Spirit. I didn't know what I was going to be shown, but I knew I had to be up there because Spirit called me. Perfect example. And this is like every day in my life. When I receive those breadcrumbs and I'm told what to do, I do it. I'm very obedient. So the fruit of life is my sacred geometry of the day. And I love this because this talks about abundance, and not all abundance is financial. Abundance comes by way of grace. Abundance comes by way of gratitude, and more things to be grateful for. Love, respect, attentiveness, appreciation. These are all abundance. Those are all abundance. Are you appreciated? Do others offer equal exchange with you? And so what I've been moving through a lot, and this card really talks about it, is feeling the austerity that's happening. That's like the chaos, how people are really losing their shit. And then reaching out to me to work on them free. Now, I have very close friends that I actually invite to do that, and they're the ones that never actually reach out to me. I'll find out later, like, yeah, I was losing my shit last week. Well, why didn't you text me? I mean, those are the people. But the ones that always reach out to me are the ones that like do a session every 6 months or once ever, and then they think that they have access to me by texting or messaging. And I'm starting to be more discerning with that instead of so available. And that's the divine masculine in me defending the divine feminine, saying, whoa, 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 wait a minute. This is my most valuable commodity, my time, my energy. And just like I've explained to my kids, like the max sessions I'll do in a day is 3. But if I do 3 sessions in a day, it's literally like doing laborious yard work outside all day. Like, people don't realize the energy that you expend doing this kind of work that I do. It is not to be taken lightly when I gift that. And those closest to me know that. They are very grateful for it. That's why they don't reach out to me even when I tell them to. And I'm not a stage act psychic. Like, when I'm working on people, this is divine, sacred work. And if I offer and extend myself in that way, please know, like, that is a huge privilege. It's not a right. So this card talks about being immersed in that austerity and then walking away. So this is that discernment that I was just talking about, like those that have been reaching out to me, like being able to say, like, no, would you like to schedule a session? Or what do you need? Because I do these every single day. And spirit talks through me when I do these live videos, but I am literally opening an energetic portal. So those of you who are on this with me, you are actually receiving that healing balm through my voice. That is a thing. And I am gifting this to you. That is me using my gifts with grace. Like, this is a gift of grace, sharing this time and space with me. And I also feel that from you. This is beautiful. And so if you have questions and you say things, I can respond. That's why I do the lives, so that you actually have access to me to give input. Or like Samantha said, she saw the screen glitch. Or like connecting with Kyle, because I don't get to see him on Wednesdays anymore. So it's nice. And it does open an energetic portal. And so I did not receive a stone ally today. It's wind. And what's interesting about this, I love you too, Linda, and thank you. The wind is a sacred element, and it's the element that we actually have the power to pull into our lungs to move and nourish our bodies. Now, wind is a powerful energy. All the elements have this ultimate power to destroy or to purify. So wind showing up, wind always means to me the heart energy, but bringing the heart through the mind. Because in her deck, she equates wind with the higher energies, the etheric energies. And in Eastern teaching, how I learned, the wind is the heart. And when you breathe, I mean, think about physically, when you pull the breath into the body, this is where it goes. It fills the lungs and then oxygenates the body. And so each cell of the body is infused with this sacred energy of wind. And so you can lift that heart energy upwards and into these etheric spaces, or you can even bring the wind down into the sacral and the root energies to purify those energies, or to feed the fire of the solar plexus. So wind is sacred. And I have been able to summon the wind since I was a little girl. And those who have worked with me outdoors have actually been witness to that. And I don't think anyone on here has, Diana may have been with me when I've summoned the wind. If Diana is still on. Anyhow, the wind and I are very well acquainted, actually all of the elements and I, but the wind is most responsive to me quickly. Like there's no wait period when I connect with her for her to literally come in for me. And it is a love relationship, and there is reverence and gratitude that has to happen in order for these connections to be made. And that's very important. Just like I said, I know my rank in spirit. It's not my human doing this. It is my divine self that creates these connections. And so the culmination of today's spread is the cloak of Christ. And this talks about divine protection, that I am now to enter a space of no fear, right? So this talks about the fear. What do I fear? And I made a post about that this morning, which was interesting. The doctor who actually performed surgery on himself. Yeah, how was that? That was like mind-blowing. Yes, rain too, Diana, that's true. And so feeling into those energies, like, what do you fear? Because spirit will never give you something that you're not prepared for. So fear is really faith in the wrong thing. When you are faced with fear, true fearlessness is not the absence of fear. It's being triggered by fear, but then being able to continue to act. If you're stifled by fear, then that is not fearless at all. That is fearful. And you have faith in the wrong thing. So yes, in Ayurveda, there are wind, fire, and earth mind. That's true. And also the body. There are the 5 elements in Chinese medicine that also works with that. You can have a wood body, a metal body, fire body, water body, or wind. So all of those ancient practices, look for the pattern, not the perfection, and you will find truth in all of them, just like religions. Look for the pattern, not the perfection. So I love that. I believe we're both wind. You and I, you mean? Possibly. True. I don't know much about Ayurveda. I know that my soul does what it's called to do. And when I was a practitioner, a medical practitioner, there were things that I was doing for decades, like dry brushing, oil pulling, using the neti pot. And I said, you know what? I want to teach these things to my patients in a workshop, because these things keep you out of the doctor's office. Like, this is earth suit maintenance that actually helps your body detox itself and really maintain the health of the physical body. And when I started doing research on the history of those practices, they were all based in ancient Ayurveda, and I'm talking like millennia old. And I was just like blown away, but they were all Ayurvedic practices initially. So it was interesting, like the neti pot was not about clearing the sinus passages at all, that it was a pre-meditative cleanse that they believed cleared the all-seeing eye. And so they would do these cleanses before meditating, and started realizing like, whoa, we're not having like sinus issues. So pretty cool, right? So, and Chinese medicine has that same, they tap the meridians, whereas Ayurveda is more about the dry brushing and the raking of the body. So you look at those patterns, like every indigenous society has that. Like Native Americans would use corn husks to brush their dry skin to get that energy stimulated in their earth suit. Because this is really what connects the earth suit to our spirit, right? So I like that. Anyway, thank you, Kyle, for sharing that. So the cloak of Christ talks about protection. And it says, do not hold on to scraps for fear that the feast will be denied to you. Use your nose and smell the feast that's awaiting you. That's taking the first step, the baby steps, right? That you sometimes hold on to old paradigm and past things because you think that you will never get to receive this or that again. Or just like it says, scraps. You hold on to scraps for fear that you may go hungry, but there's really a feast waiting on the other end if you would just let it go. And so a lot of this, like, what are you hoarding? It doesn't have to be material things. What are you hoarding energetically? What old beliefs are you holding on to that you really need to let go of? What old beliefs are living in your subconscious that even consciously it's hard for you to move through because it's been creating a habit? It's creating that repeating pattern out here. And a lot of those are put into place when you are so tiny that you're not even aware of them. It's just habit. It's just natural. You just move through it. And I think I've mentioned this before, like in the past, I was addicted to agony because I knew how it felt. And so I said, if I hold on to this ancient pain that's not even Sherry's, oh, that's another thing that's in this card. Thank you, Spirit, for having me say this, because now I remembered. But that ancient agony, I would hold on to it because I said, nothing that ever happens to Sherry will hurt this bad. So at least if I hold on to this, nothing will ever hurt like this. And what I'm actually doing is blocking all of the grace from coming in because that takes up space. It takes up space in here. And so, where is it? I want to... He shall receive your darkness and your light, the angel of your heart and the demon of your fear. Nothing is greater than this love for you. Nothing is greater than the holy passion for you. So take refuge under the cloak of Christ, the mantle of the sacred, and know that you are held in this loving sanctuary. Because that which plagues you, whether it's something specific or general nagging malaise or anxiety you can't quite pin down, it's never, ever as powerful as you fear it to be. So letting go of that creates the space for everything that's actually meant for me. And it says, you are tired, beloved. Your soul has been ravaged inside and out, and you are succumbing to struggle that's not even necessary. It's not karmic. It's not necessary. Let that shit go. So Sherry is having to really let go of ancient shit that's not even Sherry's. And that's the calling back of my soul fragments. That's spirit telling me you have to travel and go where you're invited, which is crazy because as soon as I started getting those cards, like literally I got an invitation to New Mexico, to Texas, to Wisconsin. Diana and I are planning a trip to Mexico. So, I mean, this is powerful. All of these things moving through me. So this is the spread for today, and I hope at least a little bit of it resonated with you, and thank you for sharing this time and space with me. Your most valuable commodity, your time and your energy. I appreciate you. I am so grateful for you. And I am sorry for any misalignment I myself have caused. Please forgive me. Thank you for this opportunity. I love you. I love you. I love you.